Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the corporate world and its secrets. Today we're diving into a proxy statement and it's going to be a special one. We'll be looking at Trump Media and Technology Group, and it will be really interesting to see what they're asking their shareholders and if they will want to become a Florida company. So, what's a proxy statement? Well, it's basically a document that a company sends to its shareholders before an annual meeting, like a cheat sheet, so they know what they're voting on. This year, the meeting will be held virtually on April 30th, 2025. First up, the shareholders will vote on electing directors. That's kind of a routine thing, but then things start to get more interesting. The company wants to change its home, reincorporating from Delaware to Florida. Why? We'll get into that in a bit. Plus, there is a proposal to give more shares to employees in the future. And lastly, stockholders will vote on who their independent auditor is. This company will go over the books to make sure everything looks good. This meeting is virtual, so you can participate from anywhere. In order to participate, you will need a control number. Here's how to participate. If you were a stockholder on March 11th, 2025, you are able to vote. You can vote online, by phone, or by mail before the annual meeting, or even vote during the virtual annual meeting. How does the board recommend you vote? They want you to vote for all 6 of the proposals. A quorum, which is basically just over half of the shares, is needed for a valid meeting. If you just abstain or do not vote, it's basically the same as voting against some of the proposals. Yes, you can change your vote anytime before the meeting. If your shares are in street name, meaning through a broker bank, contact your bank. The company is using the internet to deliver these materials, saving on paper and postage. Remember that some statements might contain predictions. Take these with a grain of salt because reality may be different. The board has nominated David Bernhardt and W. Carl Green to serve as directors. They want you to vote for these nominees. David Bernhardt has an impressive background, including being the Secretary, Deputy Secretary, and Solicitor of the US Department of the Interior, which manages a lot of resources and employees. W. Green has over 20 years of experience in civil litigation and criminal prosecutions. Devin Nunes, the CEO, has previously served in the US House of Representatives. Eric Swider has served as Digital World CEO. Donald Trump Jr. is and has been an officer of hundreds of entities related to President Donald J. Trump and the Trump Organization. Robert Lighthizer has served as the United States Trade Representative under President Trump. Linda McMahon helped co-found World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. This section talks about how the company is run and the policies in place. Because one person controls more than 50% of the voting power, TMTG is considered a controlled company. The board has committees like the audit, compensation, and nominating committees that do some of the work. The audit committee makes sure the finances are in order. The compensation committee decides how much the executives get paid. The nominating committee picks people for the board. The company has a code of ethics for all employees. The board oversees risk management. Stockholders can contact the board by writing a letter. The company pays its non-employee directors for their service with cash and stock. In 2024, non-employee directors received stock awards grants. This means they have to stay at the company for the award to vest. Here are the main officers: Devin Nunes, Philip Juhan, Vladimir Novaki, and Scott Glabe. Each has a background. The named executive officers are Devin Nunes, Philip Juhan, and Vladimir Novaki. The company is disclosing how much they got paid. Here's the compensation, including salary, bonus, and stock awards given to the named executive officers. Nuntus was paid almost $47 million, while Philip received $14 million. Vladimir received $20 million. Executive pay often includes a base salary, so equity-like stock is given to the officers. The company also pays for things like expenses. Devin Nunes, the CEO, has an employment agreement for $750,000. The annual base salary was increased to $1 million after the second anniversary. The equity awards will be fully vested by March 25th, 2027. There is a relationship between the compensation paid to our executives in 2024 and the company's total shareholder return and the company's net loss. The company needs to disclose any deals they have with people who are related to the company. Trump Media has a license agreement with Donald Trump. Certain people agreed not to sell their shares for a period of time. The company repurchased some shares from employees to cover their tax bills. The company spent some money at Mar-a-Lago. Here's who owns the most stock. Donald Trump Jr. is at 52%. Here's the big one. The company wants to move from Delaware to Florida. They think it's in the best interest. Why Florida? The company headquarters are in Florida. This enhances the relationship with the state and the business community in Florida. Delaware is becoming litigious, with corporations facing a lot of lawsuits plus a franchise tax. Florida does not have a franchise tax that can save the company approximately $200,000 per year. Delaware courts are experts in business law, so this may have less predictability with respect to legality of corporate affairs and transactions and stockholders' rights to challenge them. There's a comparison of the laws in Delaware and Florida. If you want to dive into the full details, see Appendix A. The move should be tax-free. The company wants to make changes to its equity incentive plan. In particular, it would include an evergreen provision that allows for annual increases to the share pool. The AANDR plan is a key part of attracting top talent as it incentivizes employees. Now onto the advisory votes. Proposal 4, stockholders get to voice their opinion on executive compensation. Proposal 5, how often should this vote happen? The board recommends every year. Lastly, Proposal 6, stockholders will vote to ratify the auditor. The board is recommending to vote for Semple, Marshall & Cooper LLP. The audit committee reviewed the financial statements with the auditor. If you want to submit a proposal for next year's meeting, you have to do it within a certain time frame. The annual report is available on the company's website. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, TMTG is making a big move. They seem very committed to Florida. Financially speaking, this move should save them some money in taxes. The executives are paid high, but the value has been going up, but it also gives the shareholders less say. What could be the downside of this? Florida's corporate law isn't as well trodden as Delaware's, so there is a risk there. But for the most part, this seems like a move to be closer to home, reduce costs, and prepare for growth. Based on what I have covered today, I would lean bullish in the long-term future of this stock. I think a reasonable range is $30.35 based on long-term success. It is an extremely speculative recommendation, and the stock can be very volatile. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world.